When you think about money, what comes to mind? For many, it's numbers, spreadsheets, and formulas, essentially an equation that needs to be solved. Yet, behind all the numbers, financial decisions are not made in front of a calculator. Instead, they're made at dinner tables influenced by ego, pride, fear, and personal history. This is the truth of money. It's not just about arithmetic. It's about human nature. In reality, financial success isn't purely about how much you know, but about how you behave. Inspired by Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, we're going to take a deep dive into the strange and human side of money. Welcome to your financial DNA, the unique blend of upbringing, experiences, and beliefs that influence every financial decision you make. The legacy of money. Imagine the various financial influences passed down to you. You weren't born in a vacuum. You've inherited a particular financial DNA, shaped by the values and economic situations of your family and society. Your parents' views on money, the times they lived in, and the financial opportunities they had directly influence your own approach to money. Whether your parents worked hard for their living or faced financial struggles, those lessons, values, and experiences become part of your personal worldview. Take a closer look at different generations. People born in the 1970s likely saw a significant rise in the stock market during their formative years, fostering a more positive outlook on investing. On the other hand, those born in the 1950s watched the stock market stagnate in their teens and 20s, which led to a more cautious, skeptical view of investments. Similarly, those born in the 1960s lived through high inflation, leading them to be more wary about the effects of inflation on their financial future. Meanwhile, people born in the 1990s experienced relatively low inflation, so they were less concerned about its impact on their wealth. A person's early experiences with money, from inflation rates to stock market fluctuations, shape their attitudes and behaviors around investing. When making financial decisions, we rely heavily on the mental models we've inherited from our parents and those around us. Even if these models are inaccurate or incomplete, they align with the personal story we've built about money. So, while some might seem misinformed, their financial choices make perfect sense to them at the time. Housel put it best: people do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. Financial decisions are deeply personal and often based on unique life experiences. There is no universal right or wrong way to manage money, just different perspectives shaped by individual journeys. The power of compounding. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, is often hailed as one of the greatest minds in finance. But what many fail to recognize is that $81.5 billion of his $84.5 billion net worth was earned after he turned 60. The secret behind Buffett's wealth isn't just his investment prowess, but the fact that he's been investing since he was a child. By starting early, Buffett harnessed the incredible power of compounding. Let's break it down. If you invest $1,000 at an 8% interest rate, you'll earn $80 after 1 year. But here's where compounding kicks in. If you reinvest that $1,080 at the same 8% interest rate, your total will grow by $86.40 in the next year. This is the magic of compounding, earning money not just on your original investment, but also on the money you've earned along the way. The more time your investments have to grow, the greater the returns. Buffett began serious investing at just 10 years old. By the time he was 30, he had already accumulated $1 million. Now, imagine an alternate scenario. What if Buffett had chosen to spend his early income on travel and luxury instead of investing? If he'd started with just $25,000 and retired at 60, his net worth would be a mere $11.9 million, 99.9% less than his actual $84.5 billion fortune today. Buffett's success isn't just about smart investing. It's about time, consistency, and the power of compounding. But Buffett isn't the only investor to leverage compounding for immense wealth. Jim Simons, a hedge fund manager, has compounded money at an astonishing 66% annually since 1988, far outpacing Buffett's returns. Yet Simons' net worth is significantly smaller, around $21 billion. Why? Because Simons didn't start investing seriously until he was 50 years old, giving him fewer years to compound his wealth. If he'd had as much time as Buffett, Housel estimates his net worth would be a mind-boggling $63.90 quintillion. Compounding is a force to be reckoned with, and it's essential not to underestimate. Pessimism and money. Optimism is often linked to the belief that, despite setbacks, things will improve over time. Yet, when it comes to money, most of us have a natural bias toward pessimism. We focus more on the bad news, economic downturns, stock market crashes, and financial crises, rather than the slow, steady progress that usually happens over time. This bias exists for a reason. Good things take time. The news is full of overnight tragedies, plane crashes, natural disasters, and economic crashes. But when things improve slowly and steadily, they often go unnoticed. Consider the growth of medicine. Over the past 50 years, 500,000 lives have been saved annually due to medical advancements. But such progress doesn't make headlines the way sudden crises do. Pessimism seems to grab our attention because we're wired to notice sudden losses, while we ignore incremental gains. This bias toward negativity also affects our relationship with money. But just as the economy can face downturns, it's crucial to recognize that over time things tend to improve. So, the next time you hear about an economic slump, remember, slow, steady gains are still happening beneath the surface. Luck, risk, and financial success. In 1968, there were 300 million high school-age students worldwide, but only a handful had access to the kind of technology that could shape their futures. Bill Gates and his schoolmate Paul Allen attended Lakeside High School, the only school in the world at the time with access to a computer, a rare and valuable opportunity. This one-in-a-million chance at Lakeside gave Gates and Allen a competitive advantage, setting them on a path to create Microsoft. But what often gets overlooked in the early Microsoft story is Kent Evans, another talented student at Lakeside. Kent was just as intelligent and visionary as Gates and Allen, but tragically, a mountaineering accident claimed his life before he could graduate high school. Kent's untimely death shows us the role risk and luck play in success. Success is not always determined by hard work alone. It's a complex combination of talent, luck, and risk. Understanding that some of life's most significant events are driven by uncontrollable factors can help us approach our own financial journeys with humility and perspective. The key to happiness. In the pursuit of wealth, people often think that accumulating money will make them happier. However, as Morgan Housel explains, the true key to happiness lies in the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. It's about having control over your time. Studies show that the most reliable predictor of well-being is not how much you earn or how prestigious your career is, but how much control you have over your time. If you're working harder and giving up your time to earn more money, you may actually be sacrificing your happiness in the process. True wealth isn't about material possessions. It's about having the time and freedom to enjoy life on your own terms. The real price of investing. Investing in the stock market often involves risk and uncertainty. Many people want the rewards of investing without the associated ups and downs. But the reality is that risk is part of the price of success. You can't avoid volatility and expect to see returns. Just like climbing a mountain, the path to financial success is filled with challenges, risks, and the unknown. Housel compares investing in the stock market to buying a car. You have three choices: buy a new car for a higher price and greater reward, buy a used car for less reward, or steal a car, which everyone would avoid because the risk outweighs the benefit. In the same way, people try to avoid the volatility of the stock market by using tricks to get higher returns without paying the price. But true investing success requires accepting risk and staying committed through the ups and downs. True wealth versus being rich. True wealth isn't defined by what you own or how much you earn. It's about the assets you have that you haven't yet spent. Wealth is built through self-control and restraint. It's easy to confuse being rich with being wealthy. After all, we often see people with flashy cars and luxurious lifestyles. But what we don't see is how much debt they may have or how unsustainable their lifestyle is. Wealth is about saving and investing, not spending. True wealth comes from making smart financial decisions that allow you to build assets over time, not from the immediate gratification of buying expensive things. The key to accumulating wealth is learning to resist the temptation to spend and focusing instead on securing your financial future. In conclusion, the path to financial success is filled with ups and downs, risks and rewards, and often unpredictable turns. Understanding the psychological and emotional factors that drive our financial decisions, as well as the importance of time, compounding, and risk, can help us make better choices and find true happiness in our financial journey.